You had a 3-year mandate as Executive Secretary in IOTA. What do you consider your main achievements during these years?
Well, I would say those were 3 very intensive years. If I can highlight one achievement per year, in 2017 I would mention the approval of the IOTA strategy, which was quite important for the organization. In 2018 we had 2 major projects. One was to approve a new financial framework for the organization. The other one was the organization, together with our partner SEAT, of the Lisbon Tech Summit. And finally, this year, I would say it was very important to review the way our members access IZORA, and that required many intensive arrangements internally and externally. And we finally made it possible for a full and unlimited access of our members' tax officials to IZORA tax data.
What was your most challenging project that you have come across?
When I was elected in 2016, I have defined as one of my major objectives to improve the working conditions of the Secretariat and also the dynamics in the Secretariat. And we did lots of new things, being more inclusive, being more transparent about internal procedures. And finally, with the governance task team, I think we came up with a group of proposals that were partially approved, but that also paved the way for future improvements in respect of better conditions for the members of the staff.
Colleagues from the Secretariat agree that you are very hardworking, and at some times you even seem to be a little bit workaholic. Would you agree with this?
In that respect, I would say better to be a workaholic than an alcoholic. But yeah, I think it's we are a very small team, so you really what I tried to do was to give the example, and I think it's important for the Executive Secretary to be there, to be committed. I agree that perhaps I exaggerated a little bit, and sometimes the balance private life, a professional life was not totally achieved, but I'm lucky enough. I have a very understanding and supportive wife, and I think at the end you need to be a part of the team, not only to lead the team, but be a part of the team and be a supportive and a backup for your colleagues. That's what I did.
Yes, well, you partly answered my second question, because it was about that all the colleagues in the IOTA Secretariat say that you have been a very good leader all these years. So this was your secret, I guess.
They're very kind.
That you were not only a leader.
What I tried to do was to be there for them and to be flexible enough to understand each other, the different personality, and to balance different interests. So it's not a secret. It's probably a personal characteristic of mine.
It is well known that collecting comics is one of your hobbies. Why do you find it interesting?
Yeah, because I never stopped reading since I was a child, and comics are for me a very good mix between narration and visuals. And I also like painting, I like movies, so it's all part of the same thing. Enjoying stories and by images, and that's what is most attractive in comics for me.
Participants of the General Assembly this year could experience your other hobby from first hand. At the social event, the farewell reception, you appeared on stage not in the role of the Executive Secretary, but as a special guest. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
That's because it's one of my hobbies. It was more than a hobby, music and being in bands and all that. I've done it throughout, my growing, and I never stopped listening to music. And Hans Donti, the previous president of IOTA, he has a real professional rock and roll band. So he was kind enough to invite me to be a kind of a special guest with his band. So although we didn't almost rehearse at all, but at the end it worked very well. So I'm very grateful also for this opportunity to show the other side of me.
So what did you exactly do on stage? What musical instrument do you play?
I don't play, oh well, I play the tambourine, but mostly I sang.
You sang?
Yes.
Right. We are very much interested in your future. So what is the next step in your career?
Yeah, well, I'm going to move back to the Portuguese permanent representation in Brussels. This is what I've done this a few years ago. I was invited to go back again because Portugal is holding the presidency of the EU in 2021. We need to start preparing. I need to, to get hold of the discussions and the proposals that are on the table. So it's a good moment to go back, and I enjoy going back to Brussels and the whole European Union environment. So I thought this could be a good and an interesting opportunity to go back to tax policy.
And the last question, what is your message for your successor, the new executive secretary?
I don't have exactly a message. I believe that my successor, František Imrec, he is well prepared to do this job because he was previously president of the organization. So he knows very well the challenges. And we also had an opportunity here in the Secretariat to be together. We had a 2 days ending over meeting. I think, what I wish him all the luck. And of course, I will always be available if needed, because I really feel IOTA as, is part of the DNA, let's say. So I will try to continue to be under the radar of the organization, and also I wish him, the Secretariat members and the new statutory bodies, the best of luck in their new challenges leading IOTA ahead.
Thank you very much for the interview.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much again, and thank you. Good luck for your future life, and we will meet again for sure.